What's good, Teflon TV family? It's your boy, the Don Tony Teflon. I am back in the building, back in the lab, and today we are getting deep, and I mean deep, into the trenches of Spartacus, House of Ashur, episode 4. Listen, now if you haven't seen the episode yet, do me a favor. Hit the pause, go watch it, and come back because I am going to be spoiling everything. We're talking plot, we're talking all the twists, we're talking Easter eggs and all the power moves and who is getting played like a motherfucking fiddle up in this piece. Now, before we jump into the madness, make sure you smash the like button. It helps the algorithm, it helps the channel grow, and it lets me know that y'all want more of this gritty, unfiltered content. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button, ring the bell so you never miss an upload. Today we are flipping the script a little bit. Usually I go chronologically, but for this episode, the streets are talking about two main things, and that are the elite, the Romans, the politics, the true snakes in the grass, and then the gladiators, who are the blood, the sand, and the struggle. So we're going to break this down in these two parts. First, we're going to look at the suits, the politicians, the elites. Then we're going to flip it to the looters and talk about all the gladiators. And stick around until the end because the final reveal, that ending, fam, we got to talk about who's stepping out of that carriage. And I'm going to give you 3 things that I believe are going to happen this season. So grab your popcorn, grab your drink, and let's get into it. All right, let's start at the top, the food chain, the people with the power, the money. We got to talk about the Romans. So in this episode, we see the political chess game go from 0 to 100. I mean, really fast. We start with Gabinus and his wife, Corsatia. Now, y'all know I've been saying Corsatia is a snake. She's moving reckless. She tried to put a hit on Chorus last episode. She hired pirates. She hired thugs. She's doing the most to destroy Ashur. Why? Because she hates the idea of the Syrian rising up. It's pure classism. It's pure hate. But look at the daughter. She's been locked up in that villa for months, mourning her husband. She hasn't seen the sun. She hasn't touched the grass. And then Oppius, who, by the way, is playing both sides, slides in and drops a little nugget of info. He tells her, hey, there's some fresh Egyptian linen at the market. Now, let's peep the game here. He knows what he's doing. He's planting seeds, but this is the bait. What is it? Egyptian linen. That's her weakness. It's funny to me that this is what gets her out of the house. Not freedom, right? Not the fresh air, but some high thread count sheets. It shows you how disconnected most of these people living in this area, especially elite ones, are. They are living in this bubble. They are living in this city while it's crumbling. So they head to the market, and this is where things get wild. Now, we've been hearing about these pirates for 3 episodes. The Sicilian pirates, they are disrupting trade. The pirates are blocking the grain. We thought they were out at sea. We thought they were a background threat. Nah, not at all. These dudes are in the city. Suddenly, all of a sudden, it's ambush. Just at the same time that she goes shopping, which to me is not a coincidence. We know that this dude must have hired them to come in there, but why? And we'll talk about that later. All these masked men, swords out, chaos in the street. And who do they grab? They grab up the daughter. Now, pause. Let's look at the Easter eggs here. This isn't just random violence. The pirates didn't just kill them. They slapped them, and then they grabbed them up, which is why they took her alive. And why else would they do it? The only thing I could see this being is leverage. This is a straight kidnapping plot. Someone knew they were going to be there. And who set this up? Did Oppius know? Did he send them there on purpose? Of course he knew. And of course he sent them in there. It is known in the Teflon TV Book of Rules that there are no coincidences in life, right? But here comes the save. And this is the moment that the whole of the show dynamic kind of shifts. Ashur and Chorus just happen to be nearby. Ashur was out there trying to buy exotic meats and wines to impress Crassus, right? He's trying to bankrupt himself to look rich, just like hustlers do. Fake it till you make it. I hear the people screaming, and then all of a sudden, he sees them in trouble. And Ashur has got a thing for Shorty. He's been eyeing her from day one. He jumps in, swinging his sword, and Chorus, my God, Chorus is a beast in this. He sees Kasudia. Now, this is the woman who just tried to have him killed, though he doesn't know that yet, and he saves her life. Now, think about the irony. The woman who paid money to put you in the ground is the woman you just saved. This is going to come back around. I promise you that. This is a debt she owes him, and the currency is blood, and that's what she's going to have to pay with. Now, this fight scene was very chaotic, but it served its purpose. It brought everyone together. And when they go back to the villa, and this is where the real Game of Thrones style politics happens, Gabinius is a smart man. He's a politician. He knows a debt unpaid is dangerous, and he tells Ashur a debt unpaid promises future expense. Write that down, people. Write that down. That's a bar right there. He's saying, if I don't pay you back now, you're going to owe me later. So what does he do? He grants Ashur's position in the games. Finally, after 4 episodes of begging, Ashur gets his seat at the table. But it wasn't because of his gladiators. It wasn't because of his skill. It was because he saved the boss's daughter. Something in the game of life, it's about being in the right place at the right time. But catch this. Gabinius tries to test him one more time. This one more. He offers his own doctor to tend to Ashur's wounds. He says, my medicus is better than yours. Ashur then declines. He says, I prefer not to stand in your debt. And that, my friends, is what we call checkmate. Ashur peeped the play. If he accepts the doctor, he owes Gabinius a favor, canceling out the favor he just earned by saying no. He keeps the leverage, and that's what this whole show is about. Leverage, my people. Ashur is learning. He's not just a bookkeeper anymore. He's thinking more of a dominus. And then the ending of the elite storyline, Ashur goes home, tells everyone the great news. They are celebrating. They think they've won. They're waiting for Marcus Crassus to arrive. The big bad man, the man with the money. They're just a benefactor that they've been looking for. The carriage pulls up. The door opens up. And who steps out? Julius Caesar. Caesar, fam. I saw that, and when I saw that face, I jumped out of my chair. We are talking about young Caesar, the absolute savage Caesar. This changes everything. Crassus sends his heavy hitter. Caesar isn't a politician like Gabinius. He's a wolf. If Caesar is in the house of Ashur, nobody is safe. This is an Easter egg of all Easter eggs. In the original Spartacus lore, Caesar was a problem. He infiltrated the rebels. He's smart, he's dangerous, and he does not play by the rules. Ashur thinks he's ready for Crassus, but he is not ready for Caesar. Part 2, Gladiators, the Trenches, and the Training. Now we gotta switch gears. Let's talk about the sands. Let's talk about the gladiators. The main event of this episode is Achillia. The writers have pushed her hard, and we gotta keep it 100. Some of this was a little girl boss heavy, but let's actually break down what happened and what it means to the plot. It opens with Achillia training, but she ain't training one-on-one. She's also fighting Tarchon, who is the acting Del Toro's son, plus 2 other people. Now, historically, in the Spartacus universe, a 1 verse 3 is a death sentence. Even everyone who knows this, Gannicus and Christix, would struggle with 3 trained killers at once. But there is a plan. The Del Toro wants to teach her not just how to fight, but how to think. He tells her, do not get surrounded. Press the advantage. It's real standard stuff, but she gets dropped repeatedly. beat down. And listen, I understand why they would do this, and I'm glad they did this because she is a woman. And just to have her go in there and beat up three men would not be realistic, especially three trained gladiators. Even though we know these gladiators aren't as good as the other ones, they're still three trained gladiators, right? So we got her getting bullied by Taran. He's jumping on shields. He's smashing her into the dirt. But honestly, it felt realistic, and I'm glad that they did not. Now, she's smaller, she's less experienced, and she's outnumbered. But then we get the motivation speech, and this is where the House of Ashur starts to lean into the supernatural, shall I say, almost. He tells her to focus, tells her that the brother Ferox, the guy she's fighting, eventually the ones that she's got to train to beat are going to be fighting as one. They are a unit. But his son and the people he's putting up against are nothing but individuals looking for individual glory. And this is the key. Taran is arrogant. He's thirsty. He wants to be a star. And his selfishness is his weakness. So round two happens, and this is where the controversy starts. Achilles starts moving different. She's dodging spears. She's ducking shields. She uses their momentum against them. There's a moment, and if you missed it, rewind, where Taran tries to do the shield jump. And now this is a master Easter egg in the original series. Spartacus and Crixus used the shield jump as the ultimate sign of teamwork. It was this move that killed the Thriocoles. It was legendary, especially in this world. Here, Taran tries to show off. He jumps on the shield to Superman punch Achilles, and what does she do? She just steps to the left, and he misses and hits the dirt. I have to laugh at it. I mean, I can't lie. That was funny. It was funny. It was completely deconstruction of that legendary move. It showed that without teamwork, that move is just a flashy thing that's going to get yourself killed. It was the writers saying, these new gladiators ain't legends of the old. They ain't that good. Not yet. Now, Achilles ends up winning the 1 versus 3. She knocks them all down. She puts the sword to the man's throat. And now, from a realism standpoint, we have to say, in all honesty, this is a stretch, a massive stretch. She went from struggling against one guy to beating 3. And it's a rapid power up. But narratively, it sets her up as the chosen one of the house. She has something the others don't. She just fights with her head and not just her ego. So let's talk about the fallout. Now, Taran is pissed. He confronts his dad in the baths, and this scene was acting 101. Taran feels betrayed. He says, you taught the Nubian how to beat your own son. And then his dad drops the coldest line, I think, of this episode. He says, I place the victory of this house over all conserves. And that includes his own son. This is a true Del Toro. He reminds me of Odomatus from the original show, Duty Above All Others. He knows his son is reckless. He knows his son is going to die in the arena if he doesn't learn how to get humble. And by letting Achilles beat him, he's trying to really save his son's life. Now, that's tough love, and I guess that's what you have to have in a show like this, in a time period like this. Now, we got to talk about Ashur in this section too. My guy is the ultimate disrespecter. There's a scene where Ashur walks into the training square. It's early morning. He walks over the fresh grave of Rhodius, the gladiator he killed in episode 1. And what does he do? He whips out his junk and he pisses on his grave. Now, fam, this is totally disrespectful. He literally told Chorus in episode 1, bury him shallow so I can water him with my piss every morning. And we thought this was just a joke. We thought it was just a figure of speech. We hear a lot of figures of speeches in this show. But no, literally, he's doing this every single morning. Now, this tells you everything you need to know about Ashur. He is fucking petty. He holds a grudge. He wants to remind everyone in that ludus that he is the master. He tells Achilles while he's standing there zipping up, are you going to lie in the dirt or are you going to prove yourself worthy? He's manipulating them. He's using fear and disrespect to drive them. It's a dangerous game he's playing. You keep treating lions like dogs, and eventually you're going to get bit. And finally, the subplot with Chorus and Opetus. Opetus shows up at the ludus to check on his investment. He sees Chorus is hurt. Ashur, being the slime ball he is, suggests they take a bath together. He knows Opetus wants Chorus. He could see this smell that a mile away, and he's practically selling his friends out for sexual political favors. Now, in the bath, Opetus makes his move. He's flirting, he's touching, and Chorus, well, he looks very uncomfortable, man. He's playing the game to get to position for the house, but you can tell at this time he seems to hate it. Because at another time, he doesn't. Now, there's definitely a vibe thing happening here. Maybe he's catching feelings, but right now he's loyal to Ashur's house. He uses Opetus's crush to manipulate him. He gets the info, he gets the leverage, but he doesn't give up the goods. And this is a masterclass in manipulation for this type of show. Everyone in this episode, Ashur, Chorus, Gabinius, they are all manipulating someone else to survive. So let me wrap this up with my theories where this leads us. All right. Number one, Ashur finally has position in the game. He's in there. All right. The house of Ashur is finally going to make its way to the arena. Number two, Achilles is ready. She's beat the 3 versus 1. She's confident, but I think she might be a little too confident. And number 3, the Romans are involved, and Gabinius is watching closely. And number 4, the big thing, Caesar is here. So my theory for the next episode, Caesar is going to tear this house apart. He's going to test the gladiators. He's going to look at Achilles and see a weapon. He might even try to turn Taron against his father. I do believe that at one point, these two will have to fight to the death in the arena. It's going to be father versus son, something that we really don't see. We've seen best friends fight when Spartacus had to kill his boys, but father versus son, I think it's going to come down to that at one point. And don't sleep on these pirates. You think they just disappeared? Nah. They took a loss, but they are still there. And I bet you anything someone on the inside tipped them off. And I told you already who it is, because that dude is slippery. Overall, I will give this episode a solid B. The fight scenes were a little floaty. Achilles powered up quick, but the political maneuvering I thought was great. And I think that is what saves this episode. But you tell me in the comments what you think. And if you like the way I do this, please thumbs up this, spread this across the realm, and of course, subscribe. And until next time, you know who it is. Peace and stay sexy.